Hey guys, it's Chris here. I just wanted to post this video because I just got back home from watching the new Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, in theaters now. I want to start off by saying the first part of this review slash reaction is going to be as spoiler free as I can be, and then I will start talking about some spoilers towards the end, but I'll let you know when I do start talking about spoilers. First and foremost, I want to say the acting in general I thought was really good. I thought Jafar Jackson killed it. Coleman Domingo, Nia Long I thought they were both great. The little boy that plays young Michael, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he was good as well. The young man playing Bill Bray, I thought was pretty good. There was a shocking. It's not much of a spoiler now, but Mike Myers of Shrek and stuff like that is in this movie. He makes a cameo, and he plays a pretty, I would say, an important role in the history of what Michael Jackson brought to the world. In general, I thought the overall movie was a solid movie. There are a few things, with me being a huge Michael Jackson fan, I am a huge Michael fan. There are a few things that I'm not happy about, but in general, I thought it was a really well made movie. Some of the stuff they had no control over, and I'll talk about that during spoilers. But yeah, I thought it was a really solid story. I do think that the highlight for this is the musical performances. But I thought the overall story with Michael, becoming the king of pop and stuff, and breaking out as a solo artist and stuff, I thought was fairly well made. I think they actually, in my opinion, they made that movie a little bit better during the Jacksons the miniseries. But then again, you gotta look at that. That miniseries was about a 4-hour movie, right? So it had more time to breathe with all this. So, before I get into spoilers, I want to say right off the bat, out of a ranking of 10, I'm going to right this second, I probably won't be able to watch it again before the 4K or Blu-ray comes out. I don't think I'll make it to the theater again to watch it. I did see it in IMAX. Out of a 10, I think I will give this movie a solid 8.5. I thought it was actually really good. I had a lot of good fun with it. The theater I went to was not really packed, but it was like a 10 a.m. showing on a Friday. I don't know how many people are still in school and stuff like that, so I'm not surprised. And usually when I get to the theater, it's not very packed, no matter what the movie is. So, right there is the end of the spoiler-free section. If anything I talk about from here on out, just be warned, there is going to be spoilers. Alright, so if you don't want to hear anything more about the movie, like the plot or missing characters or anything like that, or any major spoilers or just minor spoilers, just turn off the video now, go watch the movie, then come back and you'll hear my thoughts on the movie in the spoiler section. Alright, guys. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, here comes spoilers. I am not a happy fan when it comes with the fact that 3 of the siblings that I saw was not even in the movie. Remy was not in the movie, Janet was not in the movie, and neither was Randy Jackson, from what I could tell. If Randy was in there, he wasn't even mentioned at all, he wasn't shown at all. And I know Janet, according to what I've heard and everything I've read, she opted not to be a part of the biopic, and she did want to be portrayed in the biopic. But the bad thing is, Janet and Michael were always really close. So, that's kind of a missing key point there. There's other players, there's all other people involved in this story that I think need to be there in some capacity. Especially if we are going to get a part 2 of this story. Because one in particular is very integral to this, to Michael's second continuation of the movie. That's Elizabeth Taylor. She's nowhere in this movie. She's not mentioned. She's not shown. And that's Michael's closest friend, right? Aside from the pets, his pets, the animals and stuff that he takes care of, he considers his friends. But Liz Taylor was his closest friend for basically forever. And the fact that she's not in this is, I think, a very big missed opportunity. Um, and a huge missing character in this storyline. And Diana Ross. Diana Ross was another very integral person to Michael, and the fact that she's not in this at all is just it's really sad. I do think I wish I would have gotten a little bit more of the young Michael storyline with the Jackson Five and stuff. It seemed like they were really just flashes and stuff for the most part. The majority of Michael's time is spent with Jafar Jackson as Michael, which, like I said in my non-spoiler review, I thought both the young Michael and Jafar, I think they did a great job. There was parts of the movie where he looked almost exactly like Michael. Now, a lot of people, MJ fans and stuff here on YouTube and stuff have been commenting about how much he looked like Michael with just still photographs and stuff, and when it was announced he was going to be playing Michael and stuff, and I saw similarities, but I never really saw. I guess I didn't see what everybody else was seeing, if that makes any sense. But I did mention earlier that Mike Myers is in this movie. He plays. Oh, I can't think of the guy's name right this second. Walter. We got Nikoff, I think is his name. I think it's Walter Nikoff. I think that's right. But anyways, it's one of the higher ups from CBS at the time, CBS Records. He's the one that calls and basically threatens to take away all the CBS artists if MTV does not start playing Michael videos. So, as I said, in the history of what Michael Jackson meant to pop culture and stuff, that character has a pretty high bar or high very not high ranking, but he a very integral part, right? I was a little shocked that they didn't cover the Paul McCartney and him buying the Beatles catalog. I would have thought that's a huge business acumen that Michael took advantage of or bought, and they didn't even cover it all. Which I thought was another missed opportunity. There's a lot of parts of this movie where I did feel that we got a little cheated out of certain aspects. But in general, I thought it was really. I just had a fun time. My friend that went with me, she was actually a little pissed off that it didn't cover his entire career up to his death because now she has to wait for the next movie. I go, well, and I told her on the way home and stuff. The plan is for them to do at least a second movie, maybe 3 movies, but at least to get a second one as long as this one does well. And I believe this movie will do well. I don't see any reason for this not to get well over 900 million worldwide. I do think that it probably will hit it will probably be the first musical biopic to hit $1 billion, and go even further than that. I don't know what kind of legs this movie will have. I do know the first weekend and the first week and stuff, it's going to be huge numbers. Especially for all us Michael fans and MJ fans and stuff, we're all going to it. A lot of people that can do it and can't afford it, are probably going to go to the theater, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever. It's very rare if I could afford to go to the theater to see the same movie more than once, and B, because there's no theater really locally to me, I have to travel at least a half hour to 45 minutes away just to get to the theater, whether it's IMAX or a normal theater. It's just, and I don't have a license. I don't drive, so it is kind of hard for me to get to these places. So I don't think I'll be able to see this movie in the theater again. But I will be buying it as soon as it comes out on 4K Blu-ray with digital. As a matter of fact, I did see on Facebook already Walmart and Amazon have steelbook 4K steelbooks that are exclusive to those companies. Um, I actually think I like the front cover of the steelbook for the Walmart exclusive, but I don't know what the back cover looks like. And when I went to the Amazon link, it does show like the back cover and stuff, and it doesn't show what's on the inside of the steelbook. But I do like the artwork that they use on the back cover for that. Um, but we'll see. I haven't decided which one I'm going to order completely yet. I think it'll probably be the Amazon one, but we'll see. I I am happy about this movie, and as I said in when I gave it a ranking, 8.5, I think is a good solid ranking. I wanted to give it higher, but there's a lot of things that are missing there. That even as an MJ fan, I think we needed. I think it should have been in there. It kind of glosses over. Well, I mean, it mentions the vitiligo and stuff, and it shows that him getting plastic surgery and stuff. Um, yeah, there's things are covered. Their bases are covered with a lot of that. The brothers didn't really have a lot to do with the story, and I wasn't surprised about that because from all accounts that I've heard and I've read and I've talked to people, the brothers were never jealous of Michael and his albums, his success. The only thing the brothers really wanted was they wanted to tour again. They wanted to get back in the studio and record another Jackson's album and stuff. So they were, from what I understand, that's the only beef that they ever had with Michael about it. But at the same time, they were very proud and happy for Michael, as far as I know. This movie, it doesn't really cover that much. The brothers themselves are kind of, I don't even know if they even have very many lines. The most out of all the siblings that have any lines is LaToya. And I think what they do with LaToya is they kind of, I mean, her and Michael were close when they were still living under the same roof. Just like him and Janet were close. So I think she kind of fills that void for Janet. But the fact that Janet Jackson's not in this movie, it really, I don't want to say it pisses me off, but it's just, I mean, when we have the living person and they're telling you, I don't want to be in this film, I don't want to be portrayed in this film, there's nothing you can do about it, right? They have to respect her wishes, and I respect her wishes, but it's obvious that they're missing. And plus, that they didn't have Remy at all. And I didn't see Randy. Now, there was scenes from like the Jackson's Victory Tour, and there was the bongos and stuff that Randy plays there, and there was somebody playing on the bongos. I don't know if that was supposed to be Randy Jackson or not. I don't remember ever seeing his face there, but I do remember seeing a close up of the hands going on the bongos and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Do I think anybody's going to get Oscars or Oscar nominations for this movie? I don't know. I really don't know. Would I like it? Sure. I think I think I would love it, and I would love for them to get awards during award season. But I don't know if it'll happen. I'm not a future teller. I'm not a fortune teller, right? I can't tell the future. I can't see what's going to happen 6 months down the road. Hell, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. There's a lot of great things to talk about this movie, and I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. These are just some thoughts I have in my mind as I'm going through everything. I think overall, the story that they tried to tell, they got their message across. They really showed who Michael was, and I think you get a glimpse into the man behind the music. I don't think you get a full glimpse. I thought there were some things that I remember in the build up to the movie and stuff. Before we even got a trailer for it, there was images of him going around with Catherine Jackson door to door, being a Jehovah's Witness, right? I wish we would have got a little bit of that in there. I would love to see an extended version or a director's cut version where, because from what I understand, this movie originally, before they edited it away and stuff, before they edited it down to the 2 hours or so, like 2 hours and 7 minutes or something like that, it was originally like a 4-hour film. and that's not counting it being in two parts, right? I would have loved to see maybe not a 4 hour version of it. That's a long time to sit in the theater in one continuous sitting. But I would love to see an extended cut um, or a director's cut, um, and I would love to see deleted scenes. I do remember there was an interview that I saw the other day where I think it was one of the producers or one of the costume designers. I don't remember who it was, but one of the people behind the scenes of the movie said that they did originally film the Motown 25 performance shot for shot as Michael was shown to us in real life in his real life. But they decided to make it more modernized and do some more different cuts and different angles and stuff. I would love to see if that version of Motown 25 on the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever is like a bonus feature, right? Because I think it'd be really interesting to see it and have that, beat for beat, frame for frame, and angle for angle comparison to the performances that Jafar does to Michael's performance itself, right? I think that'd be really interesting and really cool to have. Um, I will say this much: if you want more, the story for this, the story is there, and it's not as bad as what like John Campea says, in my opinion. But if you do want an overall better story and a better story about the family as a whole, not just Michael, because this is a very Michael centric story as it should be, um, I would suggest trying to get your hands on Jackson's An American Dream. I do think it is available here on YouTube, but I think you can get the DVD of it on Amazon for like $15-20. And it is a great miniseries. I adore the miniseries. And you really get more from the brothers themselves. Plus Randy's involved. Randy's in it, and Remy and Janet. They're all portrayed in this film, in that miniseries. So I would highly recommend it. It's such a great performance. It's such a great story there, and it's so well made. There are inaccuracies in that, just like in the Michael biopic, there are inaccuracies. I couldn't really, without really seeing it again and really trying to soak in everything 100%, I couldn't tell you the inaccuracies, aside from just people not in the film that should be there. But excuse me, there's just a lot of key things I would have loved to see them portray a little bit. Um, that being said, yeah, I do highly recommend people to see this movie. If you're not a Michael fan, if you just casually listen to Michael, you casually hear a video or see a music video for Michael, I would suggest going to see this movie. And I would suggest going in IMAX. I think it is better in IMAX. I don't know because I haven't seen it in a regular theater, right? But I'm assuming it's better in IMAX. I thought it was really good in IMAX, and yeah, I know. John Campion said something about bad about the Bubbles monkey. That the CGI for the Bubbles the monkey was not that great, or was it as good as it could be? And I don't know what he was seeing because I thought Bubbles looked really good, and I'm not even 100% convinced it was CGI. I mean, it probably was, but I'm not 100% convinced it was. I will say this much: there is no post-credit scene. There's no mid-credit scene. There's nothing like that. This does actually leave it open for a sequel, and we all knew it was a possibility that we were going to get 2 movies out of this, if not 3. The thing is, I don't know, because a lot of people are going to be upset that they don't cover the trials or the accusations or anything like that. And what you have to remember is this movie takes you up to the Bad Tour. the allegations. Hell, he doesn't. He hadn't even met the family yet that has done the allegations, right? And he's not really. He doesn't have Neverland yet, um, or anything like that, right? So he isn't surrounded by kids in this film at all because if you remember the history, he wasn't really around kids a lot. He was very much a recluse for a lot of his young life up to when he got Neverland. Right, he was very much of a recluse, and that's not saying it's a bad thing. It's just the way it is. Um, he didn't like to be in public too much. There is a scene there's a few different scenes where he's visiting hospitals, and obviously there's a huge part of the movie where he's after spoiler alert after he gets burned in doing the Pepsi commercial. He spends time in the hospital, and that's where he decides that he's going to do the victory tour. But he was ready to tell Joseph he was done with the family, with the Jacksons, with their group. Not with the family itself, but with the family act, right? Um, so, but they do cover Michael going to the hospitals a lot to visit sick children and stuff, and that's the part of Michael that I always knew and I always loved about him. He was very much a very caring guy, and he was very humble, and he was very giving, right? Giving of his time, of an ear if he needed if a kid wanted to talk to him about whatever, um, and just helping out people. There's a scene in the movie when he's in the hospital still recovering from the burns to his scalp that he's asking John Bronca, played by I can picture him. I just can't think of his name. The point is, but he's asking John Branca, Michael's manager, so he was asking how much he was getting for the accident, through Pepsi, and Branca says it's in seven figures, and Michael goes, "I want to donate it all to this hospital, all of it." That's who Michael was. That's the kind of guy Michael was. There's a reason why. Spoiler alert: when he died, he was kind of broke, and towards the end of his life, he was broke. There was a reason. Not only was he very charitable, was he very giving for his money, and did he spend? He spent a lot of money. He bought a lot of things, and that's not a slight on him. It's just the facts. But he was also very charitable, and he also had so many different court cases, and he kept getting sued by everybody, not just for allegations of child abuse or anything like that. But he got sued over missing concert dates, or somebody was trying to sue him, say that he stole their songs, or he didn't actually write the songs that he wrote, and all this stuff, and just so many other different trials. It was just trial after trial after trial. He had to probably pay so many different types, different people for different reasons, right? Um, so there's no shock to me that when he died, he was broke or in debt. There's no shock to me. Um, I did not know how involved all the family was in this movie. All the brothers and Latoya they're like producers or executive producers of this film. I did not know that. I knew Prince was highly involved in it. I knew his son Prince was involved in it, but I didn't know the rest of the Jacksons were that involved in the movie. And obviously Reby and Latoya, and I don't even remember Randy's name being on the list of people involved in the movie like that. Um, there are some scenes where I don't know if it's actually Jafar and or the young Michael singing or not. I assume it is in some of the scenes, but I don't know for a fact. Because what they seem to do is they seem to really take like a cappella versions of some of Michael's songs, and it appears that they're not fully singing all the time. Now there is one time where the first song you hear the Jackson Five singing is the Big Boy song. Now, those of you that don't know, before they signed with Motown, they were with a kind of a more local record company called Steeltown Records. And they did, I think they recorded 16 or 17 tracks. I don't have my CD in front of me, but um, and their single from that track is, I'm a big boy now, or big boy. And it was interesting to see them performing that song. Um, that being said, there are inaccuracies where there are some times that they're like they go on stage before they sign with Motown, singing one of the songs they sang for Motown. They recorded for Motown, so the song hadn't even been created yet. And there were some inaccuracies like that and such. They did take some liberties with a few things, but I think in general it wasn't that bad. That wasn't most people wouldn't even if you're not a diehard Michael fan, you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't have even known it, right? So it's not that big a deal. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this review and the spoiler section of the video. I don't have a lot more that I want to say right now. In the comments down below, are you going to go see this biopic? And if you are going to see it, did you like this movie? Did you like the biopic? And would you go see it again if you had the funds and the capability to go see it again? If I had the funds and the capability to get to the theater, more easily and readily, I would definitely go to see this again. But I probably won't be able to, which is fine. I'm happy that I was able to go to the IMAX theater and watch it once. Anyways, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video if you can. And in case I do see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And I'll catch you guys later.